Well, Rasha, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
You are very welcome. So, begin off with is how or what inspired you to begin, I want to say, this amazing journey into the entertainment industry? What made you get started?
Well, I've been in performing arts since I was a kid. Whether it was singing, writing, doing poetry, all that stuff since I was little. I used to like recite words from, excuse me, my favorite movie, The Color Purple, and my mom like reenacted. I was always like a dramatic kid. But what sparked it to truly go forward is me going into college. And in my associate's degree, I started to take up some performing arts courses. So I got into acting. I took acting for the 2 years I was in my associate's degree, and I fell in love with it. But then it was like on and off because, work got involved and you got to make money. You got to be realistic sometimes. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. And then I just got right back on track and just kept moving forward with it. But I always had a love and passion for the arts, performing arts in general.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, after, looking at your IMDb, I'm really interested in knowing more about the TV series that you've been part of, your process on how you got into the TV series that maybe other listeners would get some information off of you so they could prepare for their attempt to get into film and television and possibly a TV series.
Absolutely. So I've been writing since I was a teenager, and I had a love for horror. I'm kind of a weirdo. So I loved horror since I was like 16, 15 years old. And I used to write, novels of horror stories in three subject notebooks and binders and share it with my sisters. And all my sisters used to read it and love my, books. And since I got into acting, um, I noticed, it's not a lot of, women that are horror directors, writers,
Mhm.
in the industry. And I'm like, since I was going to like do a book, because I'm already a published author, I was going to do a book series on my horror stories. But then I'm like, I love being on set. So whether it's behind the scenes or on the camera, I just love being, on set. I love that atmosphere. So I was like, maybe I decided to like go into making it a series, making it a horror series for television. And there was no preparation whatsoever. I'm not a planner. I'm the type of person that let me get my feet wet first and then learn from my mistakes and grow from there. But I'm just gonna keep growing and elevating. So my first episode was on a whim. I set my tripod up. I had my horror script that I wrote about a year ago, and I knew exactly how I wanted to act it out. And I just set up my camera, no preparation whatsoever, a tripod, no lighting, no anything. I just did the script, and like the first one was a psychological thriller um about an actress that was struggling with getting her lines together, and the pressure kind of got to her, and she kind of created these voices in her head. So that was my first episode, and after that I just kept going. I feel like you got to get your feet wet. Sometimes
Yeah.
procrastination can get the best of us. That's what I feel. Just get started. That's my advice.
That's awesome. So I think that you've done what, two or three of them now?
Yes, and I'm in production of the fourth episode now. So it's called Vault 13, and it's an anthology series. So it's like three mini horror stories into one. So think of it Black Mirror, Twilight Zone, go all the way back to Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's where I got my love for this stuff. And Tales from the Crypt. Um, So it's an anthology series. So I record like mini episodes and put it into one. And now I'm getting like fresh actors because I don't want to be in every, episode I'm in. That's kind of
Mhm.
corny. I'm getting like fresh faces and like, mix it up a bit. So it's a diverse cast and yeah, and try to give people more opportunities in acting and people that love horror, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's really crazy is since being on TikTok, man, lots of people are doing this.
Yeah. Yes.
Right there on their TikTok page is their series,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know? And so it's so cool how I see people really elevating their careers by not waiting on the opportunity, but by making the opportunity
Hmm.
themselves.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Absolutely. And there's not a lot of, women, like I said, in Black horror in general, Black women in horror in general, like lead roles. And I applied to a lot of horror series and I did a lot of horror movies and I didn't make the cut. So, like you said, I created my own kind of, path for myself and other women out there that want to be in horror. So
Yeah.
it's definitely creating your own table at the end of the day, too. Yeah.
Girl, when it comes to horror, we are dead in the first
Five
the,
minutes.
the first 5 minutes. As soon as you hear something in the other room, the
Absolutely.
black person in the film is cooked at that point.
It's so true.
Yes.
And we rarely have, leading final black girls in horror movies. Brandy was one of them. But we rarely have like the final girl in black
Hmm.
horror. So I'm trying to put that aspect out there too and try to recreate horror in that aspect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. And unfortunately, it's also Asian people are usually the ones that get killed next too sometimes.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I
Very
mean,
true.
you hate to say that, but it's like you think
Right,
about it and you're like,
right,
oh, oh, okay. And you kind
right,
of know what's gonna happen.
right.
Like,
Becomes
don't
predictable.
open that. And then you're like, oh, well, they're done. Right?
Right.
It's really cool that I'm actually hearing you say this because, God, I've been telling my wife for so long. I just want to do it myself. I got all the equipment here at home and, I just want to do it myself. And so I don't know what's really stopping me. I think it's the fear of just, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you have, you know, it's inconveniencing so many people by asking them, you know, because as actors, we don't always want to do this for free,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's become very complex when you're like, hey, won't you come be, and so I need some advice and encouragement from you. What do I need to do to get rolling on this?
You're trying to start your own film or
I just want to create a short, you know?
yeah.
I
So
don't care if it's with two people. I don't care if it's with just myself
right.
and pretend that someone's after me, whatever it may be. What do I need to do to just
Hmm.
stop talking myself out of it? And maybe there's some other people who will be listening
Yeah.
who's saying, man, I do the same thing.
So we get into our heads a little bit too much. And I feel like it's about being judged too a little bit from others and not really creating for ourselves. And I got out of that mindset a long time ago because as creators, we kind of get blockages. Oh my God, but what if they don't like this? Or what if the audience don't like this? Or what if they're not going to buy my stuff? At the end of the day, you're not creating for nobody else except you. When the idea comes into your head, that's your idea.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter if people love it or hate it. You're doing it for you at the end of the day. You won't have no regrets. you would be like, okay, at least I started it. Now I know what to fix, how to fix it, and how to move on from here.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that's my encouragement. Do it for you first. Like when I created the first horror short, in my head, I didn't care who liked it. Because at the end of the day, whether they love it or hate it, as you can see, like the Terrifier movies, a lot of people hate it and a lot of people love it, but it's still the topic of discussion, right?
Yeah,
So create for yourself first. And don't cloud yourself in too much thought, judgment, planning, organizing. Throw all that out the window and just do it, like the Nike
just
sign.
just do
Just
it.
do it. Just do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like
Yeah.
the idea. Just
Yeah.
do it.
Just do it. Absolutely. Because if you keep getting in your head and saying, okay, well, I don't know if I should do this, questioning yourself, think about it. It's never going to get done.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
you're going to be like, oh man, well, I wish I would have did that, or I thought about that first, and then you're going to be like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, instead of
Hmm.
just living in the moment and creating your passion, creating what you're good at, or creating the thought that you have in your.
I like
Very
that.
true.
Yeah.
I
100%.
needed to hear that
Yes,
for real
absolutely.
because as of lately, I've just, you know what I did? I ordered this C stand. Okay, I'm making baby steps.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Absolutely.
like I'm making baby steps. I got the C stand in case I need to put the camera. I just need to do it.
Do it.
Hmm.
Create it. And get some friends involved. Make it a fun project at first, family. My first episode is with my sister. I got friends involved, family members. People that want to do it, just get them involved with it. And you don't know, you don't have to get actors, real actors right away. And then networking as well. I'm a background actor as well. I started off as a background actor, which is very good for networking. Like you'll meet a lot of cool people on set,
Hmm.
directors, producers, and just networking and branching out and getting those connections can, oh yeah, I'll do your project. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, whenever you need me. Yeah, you get people like that, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Hmm.
I feel like networking is very important when it comes to the film industry. Very important.
Very true.
Yeah.
Networking is the key.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
That's what we love about the entertainment industry. We have the network.
Yes, absolutely.
People don't believe it until they experience it.
Exactly. And a lot of directors are very close-minded. Even some people that I experienced in the past, they don't want to network. They don't want to network with other directors, and that's not the way to go. You're not going to go so far. You can't take yourself so far. You have to branch out and
Hmm.
talk to other directors that's bigger than you. And network with other, writers and actors. That's how we grow. That's how we
Very
grow.
true.
Or we got to be stagnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm just going to get off subject for a second. I got to tell my guy, Ryochi, bro, I'm digging the haircut, bro.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know so it's crazy about my haircut, right? So, I went in there and I was like, you know what? Let's do as a zero. And the person was like, okay, could I go in there use a lot? And and they were like, are you serious? You want a zero? And I was like, let's try something different. Let me get myself out of the comfort zone. And they're like, okay, let's just go with the flow. And I'm just gonna sit here and I'm like, you know what, just go with the flow, just cut it. And and the person did it and they're like, what do you think? And I said, I love it. And they went with the zero, like a zero on the haircut. And I was like, okay, this is a good deal. I think this is a new style for me. And the person's like, okay, this is it. I like it. I was like, yeah,
Bro,
we're gonna keep it this way.
you brought it. I love it.
I appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot. It's like for me, it was like testing. It's like, when you're an actor, you want to get in this comfort zone, right? Or step out and get out of your comfort zone. And for me, it was a test. It's like I'm getting out of a comfort zone. I'm trying a new haircut.
Right.
And this is what I went for, and I really love it. And I think that was a challenge because it's like you have a moment, it's like, do I really want to get out of this comfort zone and try this, or should I stay in the comfort zone?
Right.
And I just went for it. And I have
Right.
no regrets. And I think that that's my, that's my advice to any actors or anybody who's going to be listening to this is like, you can get out of your comfort zone and go for it,
Yeah.
right? And that's,
Right.
it's a challenge, but it's also a fun experience. You
Yeah.
can learn from it as well. So I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Where are you from, Rasha?
I'm from Mount Vernon, New York, home of Denzel and Felicia Rashad. Money earner Mount Vernon, Heavy D.
My guy. I love Denzel.
Yes.
Me too. I love it.
Are you
Uh,
born and raised
Born
there?
and raised Mount Vernon girl. Yeah.
wow.
That's awesome. You're
That's
so
awesome.
lucky.
Um, you know, my curiosity question for you
Yeah.
is that what is, usually Daryl asks might ask this question, but I'm gonna step in. But what is your why? What's your why that you're doing this, or what's your why about your passion? And
Mm.
uh, in this entertainment industry, and those are my two questions.
It's, I feel like it's my passion is my purpose.
hmm
And I feel like no matter what I do, I keep going on the path to performing arts, entertainment. So I can't avoid it anymore. And I get these ideas in my head for a reason, right? They keep
Mhm.
coming. Like once I start it up again and start writing these horror shorts, it's like spilling out my ears, my eyes. I have to have my phone on me 24/7 to get in my notes. Everything is an idea, everything is a story to me now. It doesn't stop. And I feel like that's a gift when something can come to you and you're not even thinking about anything and it just comes to you naturally. That's your purpose.
hmm
That's your gift. And that's my why. And I feel like even doing shows like this, I can inspire other people like me, that came from poverty and things like that, that can do big things. Like we can do big things. I can talk and manifest my future. Like I can take control of my life. And I feel like I got this gift so I can reach a lot of people and let them
Mhm.
know, hey, I was just like her. I was give other people inspiration and that push and that motivation. And I feel like that's why I got this gift that I'm pursuing.
That's
That's awesome.
truly inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all here, each one of us as an
Yeah.
individual, myself, Daryl, and yourself. We are all here to inspire
Yes.
upcoming, upcoming who are looking, who are listening, who are paying attention, say, I want to be like this person. I want to be doing what this person's doing. And and if you ever meet them in person or something like that, they will be like, you inspired me. And it
Yeah.
does hit you because it's like,
Yes.
wow, I really inspired you to be an actor or an actress. And that is a very good motivational message to the listeners out there. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. If I can reach one person, that's all, that's all it takes. Even one little girl out there,
hmm
that can get out of where they at, wherever position or situation they're in and say, hey, I want to be like her. That is an accomplishment for me. So,
Amen.
yeah.
So, it's, what is one of your favorite horror films, and who is one of your favorite horror actors or actresses?
Ooh. So I was just talking about this. I really love Neve Campbell in Scream. She's one of my favorites because I love the Scream franchise. I know. I'm a big slasher girly. I love the Scream franchise. I also love Kevin Bacon. He's in a
Okay.
lot of horror films. I was just watching Stir of Echoes the other day. Great movie if you haven't seen it. That movie is really good. And yeah, so the movie I feel like that really got me into horror as a kid was Poltergeist. The
Mhm.
Poltergeist really scared
Yeah.
the crap out of me.
Every one of us.
Yes. But it also made me fall in love with the story, you know? As a little girl, I still thought, I could get stuck in the TV screen and in the static calling for my mom.
Yeah.
So that movie really like captivated me, but made me fall in love with horror as well. So yeah.
Amazing. I,
Isn't it
I've,
isn't it funny how we watch horror or scary movies as a kid? It's incredibly frightening,
Yes.
but when we become adults,
It's totally different.
it's so different.
it really is. It
It
really
really
is.
is. It really is. Like I was afraid of this.
Right.
It's so
Right.
true.
And
So
it's
true.
so interesting. Some of the
Yeah.
horror movies you see, and you're like, wow, this scared me. And you're
Right.
like, it doesn't scare me now.
Right. Chucky, come on. Like,
Yeah. I remember watching Chucky. That
Oh yeah.
scared me as
scared
a kid.
me.
Very scary.
Yeah, it
As
was
an
like
adult, I'm like,
it's like when you're little, you're like every time you look at dolls, you're like,
right.
no, no, not touching it, not going near it, not going in a dollar store, nothing. And then when you're an adult,
Nothing.
you're like,
No. No.
oh, okay, I see. But it's like when you watch it, you kind of like, okay, yeah, I see why it's scary. But it's
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah, now it's like, no, not
No.
really.
Mm-mm.
It's I've seen The Conjuring,
Ooh.
and I mean, still this day, even though it's based on a true story, that one,
It was
I
Hmm.
think that
pretty,
will get me. I think that's
pretty scary.
that's that's a different horror movie.
Yeah.
I would be like, wait, I would go, I mean, I will watch it, but it's like, uh-uh.
Right. It's pretty scary. That and Insidious scares. That
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Insidious
when
is,
when you first see Insidious, you're like,
my goodness.
no, this shouldn't scare you. But then you realize you're like, wait a minute. And there were
Yeah.
like how many Insidious? One, two, three, four, maybe?
Right.
And trust me, I've seen it all. So it's like
Right.
I was brave enough to watch all of it. Like if you see the first one and you know there's a second one, you have to watch it. And then you know there's a third
Absolutely.
one, you're like, okay, it's scary, but I have
Right.
to know what happened. And
Right.
when there's a fourth
Exactly.
one, you're like, that's the final one. Okay, it's scary, but I really have to see what happened. Then you're like, then you're done. You're like, not buying the movie, not watching it anymore. You know what happened.
Right.
So
So,
for
Um,
me, go ahead, Rich.
what is your 5-year goal? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Correction, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself of being the new face of horror. I see myself
Hmm.
new face of horror, whether it's the writer, director, or actor. I'm just a new face of horror. Like I am everywhere, I'm almost near Jordan Peele status, kind of hopefully up there by now, by then. Just still pursuing my passions, but with a bigger budget, with a bigger production. Everything now is, independent and things like that. But I just see myself doing the same thing, but at a bigger level,
Mm,
if that makes sense.
totally.
Yeah.
My question for you, being a African American filmmaker yourself, what do you think about Ryan Coogler's newest film, Sinners.
I feel so bad because I didn't see Sinners yet, but I promise I'm going to see it. I've heard all these good things about it. And a friend of mine sent me his speech, and that was very inspiring when he was talking
Mhm.
about when he, started it and things like that. He just started it. Like I say, it was an idea and he started it. It was very inspiring to watch. And also that's paving the way
Oh
for
yeah.
Black people in horror, minorities in horror in general. Um, that's a huge step towards, and it's different. I love
Yes.
vampire movies. I'm a huge Lost Boys fan too. So when I see this movie, I know I'm gonna love it.
That's all.
That's
You
amazing.
know that he signed one of the biggest contracts with Warner Brothers,
Yeah,
and he is the man when it comes to that being his film after a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
he
100%.
has the entire rights, which I don't believe has ever happened.
Before, yeah, it's true.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
So,
too.
I
yeah,
mean, it just shows us what is possible.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and why
100%.
to keep doing what you're doing, no matter what.
It's passion,
It's passion.
passion and
Passion
courage.
drives you.
And
And go ahead, I'm sorry.
it's that you keep going and you
Yes,
ignore the negative comments. That's what I was going to say.
exactly.
It just inspires us to keep that faith, keep that
Mhm.
courage,
Yes.
keep that passion, and you keep going, and you have that support, and that's inspiring. It's amazing because every person who produces their film or any A actors are out there, they would tell you, I'm pretty sure if you ask them, how did you get to this point? Right? And they will tell you, it's the passion, it's the courage. Don't give up. Keep going. You keep pushing forward and you just ignore and don't let the door behind you close. You just keep going.
Yes.
Right? You ignore the
Absolutely.
negative comments and you just go for it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you'd be surprised where you are.
Absolutely.
I'm sure every one of the people on his football team, when he said, "Yeah, I want to be a filmmaker," were shocked,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're not shocked anymore.
Exactly.
Right. Go for it.
Right.
Go for it. I'm just
Right.
riding your coattails on that, Ryochi. I'm just like,
Go for it.
Go for
yeah,
it.
and the contract, him having what it was monumental to begin with because I don't think any other filmmaker has done that.
Yeah.
But I think so many times, even just in our life in general, we're so afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All they can say is no.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But I feel like so many people are afraid of that no.
Hmm.
And my theory is where there's a million no's, there's always that one yes. There's always another door that's
Mm-hmm.
going to
And
open, no matter.
don't be
Don't be
afraid to ask.
afraid. Yes, don't be
And
afraid.
that's the one thing, to go back to this community, it's that we are supporting each other in the community in this entertainment industry. For me, you are so surprised how many actors are out there on Instagram. And that's
Hmm.
where we are all supporting each other. You get advices, you can ask questions, and you support each other, and you go on. And it doesn't matter where we're living and what state we're living in, but all at the end is we all support each other, and we all can ask questions and say, hey, where we go from. And also what's what's so amazing is you have A-list actors who are living in California who are also on Instagram. And you can send them the support and it's so amazing
Yeah.
how many actors on people are actually also commenting on there,
Yeah.
and you can see, and then and some of them are commenting on your posts and everything, but all at the end is, to me, it's amazing, it's powerful, it's encouraging that we have this community support, that entertainment family, entertainment industry. And
Mhm.
a lot of people who don't believe it when they first get in, and then when they realize like, wow, all these people from your own state, from other state next to you, south, east, west, north, whatever, you know, they all support you. And you're like, wait, you live in the same state? Or wait, you live 3 hours away. Oh, wow, you're in the next town or your next state. And that's where you get the idea about, hey, I have a role for you. Oh, really? Come to my state. And that's where you're like, wow, I didn't know this. And to me, it's powerful. So we're all right. We don't be afraid to ask, to say, hey, you live in this state. I'm coming in for 2 weeks. Do you know if there's an acting role while I'm here? Don't be afraid. Just ask. And you say, if they say yes, like, yeah, do it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. Your favorite genre? I know you like horror movie, but what is maybe your second favorite genre? I'm sorry, I'm asking this. What's your
Horror and horror. No, wait. If I had to say a second, it would probably be action thriller. Like
okay?
an action thriller movie. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
um I love a good Liam Neeson movie or Jason
Me too.
Me
Statham.
too. So my follow-up question is, what is your favorite action movie?
Ooh, there's so many though. Oh my goodness.
I know that's a hard one.
Hard one. I'm just gonna go back to an old school. Um,
Okay.
I feel like Beverly Hills Cop is an action comedy that I really enjoy watching. 48 Hours. I like things like that. Like if I'm gonna
40
go back
hours. I
to,
love that.
yeah, yeah.
And then I know this is my next follow-up. Your dream role in an action movie.
Oh, my dream role is probably something Marvel. If I
Okay.
could become like a Marvel character, a Marvel villain, that would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
That
Yeah.
is.
I think I would play a great Marvel villain.
Okay.
Hey, Ryochi, there's Miss Robinson on Avengers. What?
Right. I'd be like,
Right.
wait a minute. It's very interesting.
Cool.
You like a horror movie, but you also like action.
Yes,
That's
I do.
that's
I
that's
do.
so interesting.
Yeah.
And I have so many action movies as well. I can't name them as well. It's a good
Right.
question. It's a good
So many.
question. It's
That was a great
I
question.
don't know. I
Yeah.
I I would have to think about it if somebody asked me that.
Yeah. Because the list goes on and on and on. It's too many.
Hmm. Very true.
If you had a moment to talk to your younger self,
Ooh.
now that you're in this time in your life, what would you tell yourself?
Stop being so shy. I feel like I was extremely shy as a child and going into my young adulthood that I could have maybe gotten further into where I am now if I had this personality as a young person. I had to grow into making myself comfortable
Mhm.
into talking to people, just breaking out of my shell in general. Um, and if I had that that bravery, then I feel like I probably would be further. But everything happens for a reason, you know.
Mhm.
So,
Very true.
My follow-up to that, now that you've kind of mentioned that, is what what was the safe space within you that made you feel like, okay, now I can be this woman that I am now?
I stopped caring about everybody else and start caring about what I want to do.
Very true.
That's
Once I
powerful.
did that, it's taken off from there.
that is so powerful. That is. And that's the you think about it, that is the truth.
Mhm.
It is. To be in entertainment industry, that
Yeah.
is the truth to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I feel like we always, get trapped in these roles in life that other people placed upon us, the sister,
Mm-hmm.
the mother. And we always think about everyone else instead of actually following our goals. And once I
Very
stop,
true.
I'm like, I'm just going forward with this full throttle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing can change my mind. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm,
Right.
and that's it.
And on top of that, I just really feel like, going off of what you said, it's really the very reason why so many people look back years later and go, God, why did I give a what this person thought about me? Because I could be here now. I could be doing this now. I could have really dove into my dream that I wanted to
Right.
accomplish. And sometimes it's just always caring about what people think about us is is one of the biggest diseases there is.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
And
And
it's
when we
hard
do this,
because
yeah.
it is part of our life,
Mhm. And
unfortunately. And it's just at myself, I struggle with that. But you try not to think about it. But in the back of your head, it's just trying to find the right wording, but it's just part of life, and but what you said is very powerful,
right.
and it actually motivated me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do my best to live by that, even though
Right.
it's gonna be
Mhm.
hard, but I'm gonna do my best to live
Right.
by that.
Right. And it's a part of life until it's not. You always have to remember that you're in control, no matter
Very
what.
true.
We only have one life, you know, and as harsh as it sounds, we came in this world by ourselves, we're going to leave by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally have to do what we want to do.
Right.
And once we think about that, then nothing else really should matter because thinking about everybody else's opinion can cause anxiety, depression, just living in a miserable life and becoming stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
And once we don't care and we take away those worries, there's no limitations to what we can do.
Right.
Yeah,
Very
I
true.
mean, I'm with you, Ryochi. I think, there's been so many times with myself I've done the same thing and I'm like, God, I'll make a post and I'm thinking more about what people are going to think, so I delete it. My wife gets pissed. She's mad, like, why do you care? And I'm like, I don't know. And I go to post it again and I just don't press for it to upload, just
Right.
Yeah.
because of the thoughts in my head. And it's taken me a long time. I'm sure all of us, just because if you really want to be successful, you cannot care that much
And
about
it's
what people think about you.
it's a
Exactly.
challenge. It
It
is a
is.
challenge.
It is.
Trust me, Daryl, and everybody. It's anybody
Yeah.
who's listening to us. They're gonna realize they agree.
Oh,
It's a
absolutely.
challenge.
I
It's
didn't
a
get here
challenge.
overnight. I
And
didn't
and
get to this point
if you
overnight.
could, I mean, I bring
It
this
took
up,
years.
right? I bring this up. Like you can ask A-list actors. I'm pretty sure they have the same thing. Still
Oh,
this
I'm sure.
day. Still
Absolutely.
this day, right?
Yeah.
And and it's just it, you have to ignore the negative comments. I think that comes down to it.
Yeah.
And it's not
I
just that, it's just also comparing yourself to
yes,
the
very
success of
true.
what where someone else is, and then
Right.
wishing you were there. But the
Mm-hmm.
the fact is, God is perfect.
Mhm.
Right.
He has
Amen.
you in the place where He wants you to be, and
Yeah.
you're moving forward. Whether you are at a snail's pace, you're
Right.
Right.
still
Right.
moving
And I
forward.
remember, don't quote me, but I can't think of this famous person actor, but they said the exact same thing. We ignore the negative comments, but don't compare, right? And just go for it and just keep that passion going. And I think that if you live by that, you're just gonna be just fine. Takes
Yeah,
time,
it
but
does.
God is on your side. You go for it,
Yeah.
100%. Um, my next question for you is, what is the most emotional support that you have ever had up till now?
I feel like my mom is there 24/7. Um, and no matter what I do, she's right there, to support me, no matter what in my crazy ideas. She doesn't look at me crazy. She's like, okay, you can do it. So that right there is important, for you to have that support system. My sister too. But this that person that won't look at you crazy like, what are you doing now? Like what what? You starting what? Like that type of support is definitely important and I feel like that we need. But sometimes you have to keep things to yourself if you don't have that type of support too, and just start what you got to do. If you want to start a business and you're afraid that people are going to judge you or whatever, just start it. If you don't have that type of support system, that's my advice because everybody don't have that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Amazing.
like that because I was listening to a gentleman on YouTube and he was talking about how he does not tell his family or friends about his YouTube channel
Mm,
just because they're not going to understand
right.
why he's vlogging all the time or
Very true.
and
True.
he doesn't want to deal with that, but most importantly, this is what's making him happy.
Right.
And it's the same for what we do as actors is we're doing this for us, but it's also something that makes us happy. So we
Yeah.
have to block out the naysayers and the people who are maybe bringing bad energy our way or
Yeah.
something of that nature. But yeah, I just think our vision for ourselves, Ryochi, yourself, when you started this podcast, Rasha, when you started your acting career, I mean, not everyone understood what you wanted to become.
Hmm.
Right.
And
Now
I,
they
Yeah.
do after watching you for
Yeah.
mhm.
years.
And
Yeah.
I've experienced that, my personal journey. But it's the support and keep the passion. I keep going back to that. It is the support and
Mhm.
passion. And this is what I want to do because it
Exactly.
makes me happy.
Hmm.
And like Daryl said, it makes you happy. And this is what we love, and this is what makes us happy. If
Right.
if 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 I didn't, if we don't have anything, this stops. We don't be happy.
Right.
This what motivates us. This makes us happy because we know we make our audience happy.
Right.
That's the one thing I want to leave it with.
Absolutely.
I think my question for you, Raja, is what is the best quote that describes you at this time in your life?
Ooh. Hmm. I'm gonna say since we're on this too, I think I heard, and I don't know where Will Smith got this from, but I remember he was on a show and it's an acronym. He said for fear, and I kept this in my head. Fear is just false evidence appearing real. So it's just something that we keep in our head to cause blockages. It's not real. We assume and create it to be something huge, but once we get over our own obstacles and thoughts,
Hmm.
get over that hurdle, everything is good. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, right. So that I brought that with me. Fear is just false evidence appearing real. And every time I'm like on a set or nervous for an audition, I'm like, oh no, this is just me overthinking. And I also channel that energy, channel that fear and nervousness and put it into my character, my work, my writing, because we can always alchemize the energy that we have and put it towards something meaningful. So, yeah.
I like
Right.
that. You know what's crazy? Not only the quote, but in real life, when we have a fear towards something and we get past it, how different we feel
Yeah.
about ourselves. It's so crazy.
Hmm.
It's
Exactly. It's just getting past it. It is. It really is. It's crazy. It is.
Yeah, it is crazy. I totally agree with you. Um, my, I, so I guess my last question is, sorry, my brain kind of froze there, is what is your motivation or your encouragement for upcoming, especially for young ladies out there and young boys who are looking up to you, who are be listening to this, be watching this, they want to get into this amazing entertainment industry. What is your message to encourage them or motivate them to keep going, keep that faith?
Yeah. Well, we have to be realistic and we have to say that as actors and people in the industry in general, it's like a roller coaster. It's never going to be, back to back to back to back jobs. Even A-list actors, can have a big break and then take, a hiatus for years because they can't get hired for something. So we have to look at it in that aspect, but we also can't give up. And that's what I want to say. Like, look at it as it's just like life. When we're in this industry, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be people that's going to tell you no, that's going to turn down your project. There's going to be fails and trials and tribulations that we learn from. But it's all a growing lesson and just taking us to that next level, next step. And being ambitious and determined is everything. So even if you get that no, if you get that rejection, look at Beyonce. She was on Girls Time when she was a Girls Time and she was on the Star, I forgot the name of the show. She got turned down, as a child and she kept getting no's, 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 no's. And now look at her. She's a superstar. So it's like you can't let things like that deter you, especially what you're passionate about. You have to
Amen.
keep determination. Yes, you have to keep ambition and determination within you.
I really like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And here is my last question. What is your why?
My why?
Your why.
My passion. It's not on me, it's in me. It's something that it's within that I can't get rid of until it's out, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
So it even no, it's not like I can try on a shirt today and be like, oh, I'm a director today. It's something that's in me that I can't get rid of. So I have to release all this creation. It has to be released. So I feel like it's no escaping this. It's like this is it. Like this is what I have to do.
Right.
It's a calling. So
100%. And where can people find you?
yes, so
Yeah,
you can find me on IMDb, also on Instagram, glow up underscore with Shay. You can find my series, Vault 13, on Versus Media. It's an app on Roku and Apple TV. And it's going to be picked up on Kings of Horror YouTube channel for the summer. So
that's awesome.
That's
yes.
awesome.
And check out my
Congratulations.
movie that's coming out soon, Pretty Girl Kills. That's going to be a movie that's going to be released really soon as well. We're in production with that. So
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well,
Well,
thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are awesome.
no,
Yes,
you are awesome,
you are awesome. You're awesome. We
and
we learned so much and keep it going, keep the courage, and we can't wait to find out more projects you're going to be doing, and then we can't wait to have you back on in the future.
Absolutely. I
yeah,
can't wait to come back on. You guys are amazing.
Thank
you are
you.
too. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
You have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.